All right, so we're now going to use this, and we're going to do the classic tween. Okay, so that's like the original one. This is a little bit different than what we did here. You're going to see how it's different, but also how it's kind of similar. First off, just to show you a couple of things, don't do any of this. I'm just showing you real quick. The way that this works is that you have to have a starting position and an end position. So I'm just going to go ahead and notice that I'm not converting these to spans yet. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to hit F6 to create a keyframe there. And then at 1 second, we'll create keyframe. Actually, we're just going to move this one. So we're going to take this one and put this right at 1 second. Okay, so now I see there's an empty keyframe. Then it exists here. And I'm just going to take this and move this up. Okay, like so, right? So it's off screen, and then the idea is that would come down, right? So I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. And then it would move down like that. And then all you do is you right click and you go create classic tween. But it's going to give you this weird thing. It's like, blah, blah, blah. I have to convert to a symbol. So we convert to a symbol, and then you will see that it works. Okay. The idea here is that in order to animate things using the classic tween, they have to be symbols. The reason being is that this symbol and this symbol, it needs to be able to interpolate between the two positions of them. It's actually the same symbol twice because I didn't make more than one. But that is something that's necessary. So we need to convert that to a symbol. Otherwise, it won't let you. It won't let you use it. Okay. Another thing I want to mention is this. Notice, like here, I can't move it. Right. Even if I grab this, I can't. Oh, it automatically made it. But it won't make the keyframes by default. So what you have to do, let me undo that, is instead what you want to do is just where you want to put the keyframe, just hit here, hit F6, and then I can go something like this. And now you'll see it'll keyframe it like so, okay? But it's actually like another drawing. And at any moment, I could always just take remove classic tween and remove classic tween. And you're going to see now it's just the stills of my keys, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and put these back on. Again, don't worry about doing these. I'm just showing you right now. Create classic tween. One thing I want you to know is that there's a difference here is notice there's no path for me to grab so that I can make nice arcs. There's no good arcs here, okay? See how it's like real, like goes, like it's not curved. It's diagonal. In order to fix that, I had to put more keyframes in or use some other method. So that's one of the weaknesses of it is it doesn't have a nice path. What it does have that's really nice is this. When I click on these spans, you'll notice that when I did here and I did the tweening, it does it over the entirety of it. Here, it goes it from here to here. It goes from one spot to another. So if I click in here and I just do the classic tween, and then I'm just going to go ahead and drag this up, you're going to see it's going to ease out of the action. So it's going to start fast and it's going to go slow. Okay. So watch, you'll see from here, from here, it's going to go fast, and then see how it kind of, I don't know if you can tell, it kind of slowed. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to click in this span, and I'm going to click on the classic ease, but this time I'm going to go minus 100. So it's going to start slow and then go fast. And what you're going to see is now when the animation happens, it's going to go slower here and then speed up. So hopefully you can see it here. See how it kind of softly hit here? So that's one of the strengths of using this method is that you have more control over the spacing. It's a little bit easier to deal with. And this one you have less so. Okay, so that's sort of the reason to use one or the other. You can also swap out the drawings. So what I'm actually going to do is close this out and start over again so that I can start correctly. So let's just go ahead. Okay, so there it goes. Okay, so that looks acceptable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and convert this to a symbol. So I'm going to do modify, convert to symbol, or you can hit F8, and we'll just say O_MC for movie clip. We'll discuss that later, but just O_MC, and we'll hit OK. Now, if you look in the library, you'll see that it's always available to us. It's right here. Okay, so I can pull as many of those as I want out now. And I can also delete that one, and then I can just pull it back out again, right? So it's a symbol. We'll discuss symbols later, but that's the idea. So now I can do things to it, including animate it properly. Now, you might have noticed when we did this one, it didn't require me to convert this to a symbol. It will still treat it as an object, but it would probably be better to make it a symbol before you actually animate it, just in case you need to add other elements and such to it. Okay, so we have this guy going here. What I want to do is this. I'm going to have it kind of drop down and have it squish and then pop back up. Okay, so in order to do that, what I want to do is just have like an in-between drawing of it that I'm going to put in replacement of it. All right, so because I want it to flatten out, but I don't want it to be, because you'll see, like, if I do this, let me just grab this. I'm gonna move the pivot down here too. You'll see it kind of thins it out, which doesn't actually look correct. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna make another symbol. This is another one of the strengths of it. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go to the oval tool, and there's my cursor. I'm gonna draw it kind of out like so. All right, and we'll say that that is it, sort of wide. And let me see, can I kind of, I'm gonna make it so it looks a little bit more, oblong. I think that would look better. There we go. So we'll say something like that. I want it to be a little more asymmetrical. So I'm gonna select that, and then I'm gonna get rid of the stroke here. Click on that. Okay. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna convert this also to a symbol. I'm gonna hit F8, and we'll just say flat O underscore MC. Okay. So now you'll see I have this other symbol in my library. So I have two of them now. Okay. So I can't have two symbols. I can't have two objects on one thing to animate. So, like, watch. If I even try to do the motion tween, you got multiple objects. We can't put multiple ones on there. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm just going to delete it for now. I'm going to use it later. So what I want to do is this. I actually want to start, I don't want anything to start with here. Like, I don't want the O here. So I'm actually going to grab, I'm going to click on that, then click and drag so that it starts on there. And you can see now it's an empty frame until it gets to this point. Okay, so it's not there and then it's there. Then what I want to do is I want this to actually be off screen to start. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put it up here. I'm just going to hold shift, pull it straight up. And actually we can just go like that. And then we have at 2 seconds, right? I want to make sure that it's on the ground. So I'm going to hit F6 again. If I move it, it's actually just going to change the span. So look, see, now that's just what it is. So you have to make a new keyframe for it. So I'm going to hit F6. Oops, they were all selected. Hang on. F6. Okay. And then I'll just pull this down. And right about there, we'll say. Okay. So now you'll see it's going to go from there to here, right? And okay, so that looks fine. But I actually want it to come down. I want it to flatten, right? And then do that. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to have it. Actually, let's do this. We're going to right click and let's go ahead and just go ahead and do classic tween so that you can see it, right? That looks acceptable. But I actually want to put that other keyframe in, and I actually want it to land a little bit earlier. So I'm going to have it go, let's say here, and I'll hit F6, and then I'm just going to pull this down. Okay, and now you'll see it's going to go whoop. That's fine. Then I want it from there. I'm going to do a new one right here. So right after it hits, we'll hit F6, and I'm actually going to grab this drawing and then delete it. Delete. And I'm going to go to my library and I'm going to grab my flat O and drag it in here. And we'll go like that. So now you can see boom, boom. And then it pops up. And then what I want to do is that, and I'm going to make a keyframe of this. So we'll do another F6 because I want to transition from this to the next one. So we'll go one. So I'm going to take this and let's hit Q. And we're going to move, okay, there it goes. So it's like, we're going to move that pivot down. So we'll get one frame over. And what I'm going to do is I want to transition from here to here. So I'm going to squish this way a little bit, pull it up a little bit. And I thought I had moved that pivot. Move it up a little bit. So it goes, let's, a little bit more. Okay. Then flat. A little bit there. So, doink, doink. And then we're going to do another keyframe here. Click on here, hit F6 again, do another keyframe. And then we're going to pull it up in like so. And then I am going to put this one here as well. So we're going to do F7 just to make a blank keyframe. And then I'll put the O back in there where it's supposed to be. Let's move that pivot down to the base. And try to get this positioned. I took all the snapping off, which is actually making this part harder. So boom, 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 like that. And then it goes here. And here, I'm just going to overshoot a little bit. So we're just going to go up and squeeze a little bit. And then it will settle back down. So now if I hit enter, you'll see, okay. And so this allows me, you'll notice, I could replace my drawings. I can't do that here. With the classic tween or the motion tween, we cannot swap out. There's ways of doing it, but we can't really swap out as easily and like just put different drawings in. So imagine I had a character and they have arms, and I want to go from an arm that's like gonna punch to an arm that's pointing. I can replace those. I can draw a new one really easily right while I'm working. So it makes it very flexible in that regard. Okay, so now that's popped up. That looks acceptable. But I would like the spacing and stuff to be a little bit better. So what we want to do is I'm going to go here. This is the only part that's actually even being keyframed at this point. The rest of it's all manually keyed. And I just want to change the easing. So I'll go to properties. And what we want to do is click on classic ease. And I want to start off strong. And then I want to start off moving slow and then moving really fast. Okay, so we're just going to go slow and fast. Okay, so now you'll see it'll have much more of a dropping feel. And it feels a little slow, to be rather honest with you. But that's fine. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. All right. And that is the classic tween. And the next one we'll do the shape tween, which will be pretty easy.